gonna talk about making connections. So you guys are gonna be once, the other part I wanna mention real quick, we're gonna be done 11:30, just so you guys know. The other part I wanna mention too is that everyone that you get dispatched, every lead out there, cause in this industry, the way they get their business is either by telemarketing. They have a telemarketing department, all they do is just cold call all day, right? Client gets a message saying, do you want solar, do you want this? And those are the most difficult type of appointments. There's also canvassing, where they go door knocking, you hire a team, they go out in the field, they door knock, you get an appointment. In the beginning, we've done those two things, and I've sold, it was great. But there's nothing better than the customer is inquiring, has a need, and he's calling you. So all of your appointments that you get have called us, and they want something. They want windows. They want a roof. So thinking about you're being handed over on a silver platter, you don't have to go look for it, right? We also pre-qualify them. We pre-qualify them if they have late in their mortgage, if they have bankruptcies, the things that kind of, determine if they qualify for financing. We go through all these measures. We might get 1,000 leads, but we only book 70 that are actually qualified, pre-qualified, that potentially are gonna qualify for financing. So we put you in a situation where there's no reason why they shouldn't buy, right? There's no reason why. We take care of that for you in the back end. So these people want it. It's not like you're there trying to, I don't know, you came from Solar City, so you might experience something different, right? A lot of times you're trying to figure out a way to get in the door. Here you're just knocking, how you doing? SaveCal, I'm here for a roof. Come on in. Nothing more amazing than that. You don't have to fight through it. They want it. So we take those measures. Obviously, one of the things that we try to do is when we present someone, we wanna have all decision makers. Our call center does the same thing. They wanna make sure that they have husband, if they're entitled, husband, they have a wife. Because at the end of presentation, right, if he says, you know what, let me think about it, let me talk to my wife. I have 100 different ways I can try to overcome it, but at the end of the day, if he's gotta talk to his wife about $55,000 sale, what do? It can be the best, closer. You're not gonna get the sale. You're gonna talk to the wife. So you wanna have all decision makers. We try to have everyone involved. Sometimes they can be homeowners, sometimes there's a son that lives there. We want him involved as well. We don't give a price unless we have all parties involved. We might have to reschedule it to make sure all parties are there. I've had times that I show up, I have husband and wife, and they say, yeah, I talk to my son. We have to talk to him before we make a decision, not a problem. Let's get him on the phone. We can get him on the phone. Let's reschedule, figure out time he can come to the house. And then I wanna make sure he knows exactly what we're gonna do, exactly what you're gonna get. The same thing with me. My parents live in Georgia. So when they make a decision, guess who they have to call? Me. Right? Because I don't want them to be taken advantage of. Guess what? People out there are the same exact way. No different. And I share the story with my clients. So let them know, I'm the same exact way. I'd rather have him here. I want him to be comfortable. Because even if they buy, if they sign today, they talk to the son the next day. What? $55,000? No, cancel it. You get a cancellation. I think that's the worst feeling, man. You just gotta say, oh, you're excited, and they cancel. So all those things we'll help you with, we'll teach you with. Now, when you arrive, we always, presentation, first impressions is everything. So obviously you're gonna have, sneakers. This is pretty much the attire for the most part. We have, Sean, if you see the attire, he's a little bit more of the part than me, maybe. Some nice boots, khakis and SaveCal shirt. We don't provide the SaveCal shirt. I think you get a a certain amount, right, for one day or something like that. I'm not sure what that is. I would reinvest it, get a $20. I don't know how much that was that. Well, that's how they're nice.
This is the expensive one.
This is the
Nike
this-
one
those
with
are
the long
the-
sleeves. I think the other ones are.
Those of you
around-
who wanna be elite, right? No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah.
Right,
I think the other ones were around 25, but this was 45.
Like 25, I mean, have one, I mean, typically these kind of colors, man, I had this for 2 years. It looks like it's still brand new. I anyway, so, it looks brand new, so, when you guys arrive to the actual home, always wanna be on time. I personally, cause I have short hair, hey, I grew up in LA, I'm Hispanic, I don't know, I put a hat on. I have a golf hat that says SaveCal on it, that's what I wear. So I mean, you know, I have a long sleeve because I have a koi fish. Some people love tattoos, some people might not like tattoos, I have no idea. But I do not want the customer give them a reason why they shouldn't buy, right? Sometimes customers, they, you know, they wanna kinda like, I'm not gonna, you know, figure out why they don't wanna buy from you today. So presentation is everything, clean cut, smelling good. Typical contractor out there, I had, when I was on Friday, there was 2 other contractors. Majority of the contractors who given estimates looked like they just got out of the attic. Not knocking it, but they're working. So they leave their job and they go give an estimate, and guess what, they're wearing, right, I mean, jeans are all, there's paint on them, dirt, I mean, they're not even combed up, I mean, that's kinda how they're showing up. And then you show up, right? So we don't wear suits, no ties, I mean, this is pretty much the attire, you know, that you'll be on. There's nothing more amazing, man. You know, that's why I love Mike, you know, he's a very humble guy, you know, very wealthy guy, but he's very, very humble. You would never know it. He's always I'm always on this too. You know, I meet a client I'll be at Costco, I'll be somewhere, and they ask me like, oh, what does that mean? You have a conversation, and guess what? I get a referral. A self-generated, basically, lead. I've done that just putting gas in Costco. Somebody asked me the question, what is that? You know, so, I always wear this if I'm on the clock, I mean, you know, for the most part, so. So the first things you're gonna do is when you, pull up to the house, you have to be there on time. You'll be dispatched the lead the night prior, night before, or that morning of. We're gonna set you guys up on Slack, so you're gonna know when you get an appointment. We wanna know the city you live in, so we'll try to give you something in your area, but if not, wherever the lead is, wherever you're needed, you're gonna go. But we'll try to give you something within your area as well, so that's a plus. Once you arrive to the actual home, if you wanna get there early enough. Okay, obviously you don't wanna park in front of their house for 20 minutes. That'll be a little weird, right? I know for me, when people park in front of my home, I'm like, ooh. You know, right? And you don't know who they are, it's a little strange. People are skeptical, man, so I'm the same way, right? So park around the block, but the whole goal is 9:58, points 10 o'clock, 9:58 pulling up, 10 o'clock, you're knocking at the door. We don't ring the doorbell. You know, why do you guys think there's no right or wrong on this, but I wanna ask you guys. We don't like to ring doorbells, what we do is we knock at their door. Why do you think that is? It's more personal. It's more personal. When somebody rings at my doorbell, I know it's not, unless it's the kids, right? Unless it's my family's kids or somebody's kids. Like, they like to, you know, do that. But it's not personal. So what we do is we knock. Now, obviously, if you don't wanna be there 10 minutes knocking the door, you might wanna hit the doorbell after 5 minutes, right? They might not hear you, you know, ring the doorbell. So what we do is you knock the door, you go at a 45-degree angle, you're gonna have your name tag, so they look through the door, they can see your name card. Obviously, you don't wanna be right in front of them, right? People are skeptical. So even though they called us, even though they might have done some research, people, remember, their fences are up, their wall is up. Right? I don't know about you guys, but, you know, when somebody, there's times that somebody goes to my house and I don't know who they are. It's probably a real estate agent, it's probably, I don't know who it is. I'm peeking, I'm like, pretending like I'm at home. I'm in my own house. You know, it's I don't know if you guys ever done that, but I've done it before, you know? I kinda want to know here, you know, so that's what you wanna do, knock on their door, kind of, so this is the front door, you knock, and then you just wanna kind of, you know, just move so as long as they can see through, have them come in, and then you're gonna introduce yourself. What I always tell my client, I'm very personal with my clients, so you wanna make sure, what I tell my client is right away, hello, how you doing? My name is John Rio, I'll be your energy consultant today. I'm gonna be your energy consultant today. One of the most important things, and the goal is to be able to, phase one is making that connection. When you get to their house, you wanna compliment. There's nothing more important to help drop defenses by complimenting the customer, right? Very important, you wanna be able to compliment, okay? So when you arrive, if you see nice flowers, don't lie about it, right? If it's not something that you think it's a compliment, don't compliment it, okay? It can be maybe they have new windows, maybe it's their garden, maybe it's their lawn, maybe it's something they did in their front house, maybe it can be a sign they have in the front. Some people have, you know, my home is, I don't know, you know, some kind of little quote on there. I'll give you an example. I had a client, who had some type of lilies, very rare. I don't see them anywhere, but I've seen them when I went to Kauai last year, right? So I was asking, hey, let me ask you this, wow, those are beautiful, what kind of flower is that? So for about 15 minutes, we're standing outside of our house, talking about that. He's talking about how he's passionate about it. He said, yeah, I just got very passionate about it. You know, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I go, all of a sudden, the reason why I'm asking you is because this is just true story. The reason why I'm asking you is because in the last few years, when I give my wife flowers, I actually go get the lilies myself, and at home I kind of put it together. I go, there's some type of like soothing relaxation for me. I enjoy it. So when I shared that with him, he's like, you know what, come on in, let me show you something in the backyard. So he took me to the backyard, he had a whole garden of exotic stuff that I've never seen before. We talked for another half hour, just about that. So extremely important to be able to make that kind of connection.
Right.
But if I wouldn't have complimented it, right? So what it did, it broke down maybe half his wall by doing that. Extremely important. If you don't make the connection with the customer, I'm telling you, I don't care how good looking you are, which you're all good looking people, right? You might be a nice guy, and that what was missing with that customer, my first client. I didn't make connection with the client. That's what's gonna be very important. So connection, what that means and what that will do, you wanna know their passion, what they're passionate about. I know you guys hear about this, people like to talk about themselves, right? I'm sure if I ask you, probably, you know, if I ask you a question, probably keep wanna talk about yourself, right? So people like, in order for you to make connection, you have to discover what their passion is. So think about this, 45 minutes, I haven't talked about product, I haven't talked about SaveCal, I just made a personal connection with the customer.
You guys.
Just by him talking about what he loves to do. And I didn't lie about it. I shared a true story. I'd say I went to Hawaii. I actually, my goal, my vision is to have something with these exotic type of, it's a true story. I'm just sharing from my heart. You know? Now, when you come in now for, let's just say that you find nothing, or you don't make the connection, maybe there is something compliment, and you don't make that immediate connection, when you walk in their door, most cases you're gonna see what? Frames, pictures, right? You're gonna see something. You gotta find something to make a connection with, right? I had a client that had a lot of trophies. And I was like, oh, you play baseball? He's like, oh no, my son. And I just started asking him a question about baseball. And he went off. His son is gonna be like the Little League World Series. He started talking about, that's how good the kid is. He started talking about how proud, and we talked about that for 45 minutes. Just about that. I have kids. I talked about my passion with my kids. but we make that connection. When you make the connection, it'll break those walls. The whole idea for you to break those walls, you know. And now it's why that's important is because now he's more relaxed and you're more relaxed. So it doesn't matter if you know everything about the product, but if you're relaxed and you made a connection, it's natural, it's organic, right? So you wanna make it, you wanna talk about their passion, okay? That's extremely important. I will say 9 out of 10 people that don't sell is because they never established this. You know, you're probably gonna have to go through the 30 leads and close one deal just because somebody just wanted to buy. You know, I just wanted to buy. I'm ready. And there's really in this business, there's really no lay down. There's really not in this business, not really. There's no such thing as a lay down. Not really. I don't think I've ever experienced somebody say, "Yeah, go ahead and do it." I don't think I ever have. No, I haven't. There's no such thing, right? Not in this industry, there isn't. But you have to establish a connection. Now, once you have done that, the next step is you want to sit either on you can go dining room table, right? You want to have a seat. I go, can we have a quick seat somewhere? I want to ask you questions. One of the very first things we talk about in sales, we talk about taking control, right? Control is, C2 stands for control, trust, urgency, need, and affordability. So a lot of times, you know, we're taught that you have to take control. And take control sometimes you can sound overbearing, and that's the last thing you want to do is sound overbearing. You want it to be organic. I never get aggressive with my customer. I never try to make it seem like I'm in control. It's done based on this. If I can make a connection when the wall is half down, they're asking me, okay, so what do we do first? They're willing to they'll let me take the lead without having to try to take control. I'll be in control of the entire presentation. Very different, right? Because typically, I've been in sales for 18 years. I hadn't heard that until I started doing this. And obviously through changes of my faith and my walk, everything changed so everything, my perspective changed in the way my approach is moving to as well. But that also helped as well. But that's gonna be extremely important to be able to make that kind of connection. So you wanna, typically I'll sit in the living room, right? Most family, living room. Some people can be the kitchen, doesn't really matter, as long as you guys are comfortable, you guys can have a seat, sit down, that's what you wanna be able to sit. I'll let them control where they want us to sit. I'm okay with that, you know? A lot of times people can believe they wanna be in control, can be in control, but they're really not. So, I'll let them take the lead on that. But typically, when I establish this, they'll ask me, well, where do you wanna sit? 9 out of 10 times they're gonna ask me, where do we wanna sit? So I think living room is just fine. You work next to the living room? Oh, it was just fine. I want their living room with the couch. Because I want to establish relationship, I want to establish family. When I walk out of that door, out of that home, I always give my customer a hug. 10 out of 10, you hear it. Is that right, Sean? You heard it before?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so he's heard it. Every customer. However, schedule, she's in tears, we'll make a connection. I'll see you tomorrow. That's what you want to establish, right? And that's not the easiest to establish, but if you do it this way, it can be done. You know, you guys can do it too. So once you have a seat, right? So look for number one is find a place to sit. Now there's obviously a number of questions that you want to be able to ask, right? When you guys have a seat. Obviously the way that I approach my customer, I let them know, I'm like, you know what, once you have a quick seat, I want to ask you a few questions. I want to be able to know exactly what your goals are, exactly what you want to be able to do. I want to be able to understand your situation a little better so I can help you as best as possible. So I can help you the best way possible. That is my intro to be starting to ask some of the questions. So the first question I'm going to ask them is, how long have you lived here for? So how long have you lived here for? Why do you guys think I'm gonna be asking, calling, you guys and stuff like that? How long you guys think? Why do you guys think that's important to ask? there's a right or wrong answer, but why do you guys think that's important?
Have they done renovations before?
Yeah.
Like maybe they've had windows before, they're even getting them in, didn't work out the first time, or.
It's another reason. You think it's important to ask.
Well, you can kind of gauge how much they value their home, how much time they spent there, the memories they have there, how important it is to them.
Yeah. How about, what's your name, sorry?
Me?
Okay, I'll get your name after 2-3 times, so we're good. What's your name again?
Me?
Yeah.
Armand.
Armando.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? Why do you think that's important to us?
I mean, like he said, just to see the urgency that they have on the home for how long they've been living there. They obviously like to take care of their home in some kind of way. So you know if they need the product more or less with that question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason why I asked this question, like I said, all the right answers, there's no wrong answer on that, is because, let's say the person says, I've been here 2 years, I've been here 5 years, I've been here 10 years, right? All these questions are very important because at the same time, as I'm building connection with my customer, I wanna be able to know, is this their dream home? Is this where they plan to stay? Right? Because one of the things that you'll find out is that, a lot of times you might do the entire presentation and you forgot to ask this question, and then they say, you know what, well, I wanna sell in 2 years anyway, so I don't really wanna invest. I would just give you some prices. I'll just get in a bit. But I'm saying in a couple of years, so, and then what do you say then? So the goal is to be able to overcome a lot of this stuff before, right? Overcome these objections prior to when you get price. So the next question is, they say, it doesn't matter what the answer, right? Is this your dream home? Now everybody's gonna have a different answer for that. Some people are gonna say yes, yes it is my dream home, right? My next question will probably be, well, what have you done? Always compliment. If there's something nice to compliment about what they've done in their house, do it, right? If there isn't, don't do it. I got to homes that are, hoarders, and, it's, on the outside it looks amazing, but the inside, walking, I'm like trying to get through the, it's that bad. But the outside looks beautiful and amazing, but the inside is not in good shape. So, if this should be your home. If they say no, because you want to get to know, so it's all about making connection, right? So I know all the everything you're giving me is information that you want to gather more information when you know your customers, so you know how to guide them and how to help them. But also remember, the goal is to be able to make connection. So if you find out, if you get in touch more about, is this your dream home? I'm like, actually, this is not my dream home. In the next 5-10 years, I plan to buy a home in Montana. I want to retire. Wow, what? Don't stop there and ask the next question. What does inspire you? What's the motivation? Like what? That's kind of LA, Montana. There's something going on. Why you want to move to Montana, right? Montana. I love horses. Like, wow, you have horses here in LA? Like, yeah, they actually have my stables here in Burbank. I want to move to Montana. This is my mother-in-law. I'm showing her story. But there's a reason why. You want to know. Don't allow the first answer, the surface answer, to be the answer. You want to get deeper and build, because you want to get to know your customer and get to know their passions, right? Because how can you guide and help someone if you don't know them, right? You can't. Then you just know their salesperson trying to sell them the product you're selling, right? So is this your dream home? No, I had a client recently who said, you know what? She said, No, but I'm stuck here. Right? That can be another one, right? No, they don't wanna stay there, but I'm stuck here. That's what she said, I'm stuck. So think about that. She says stuck. There's a lot that goes with that word. It's very deep. I could have just said, oh, okay, move on. So we started talking about that. I go, let me ask you a question. I wanna give a personal with you. No, when you say stuck, what do you mean? She's like, well, I've been wanting to move to Washington, but we just, finances, we can't. So we figured, you know, we're gonna be here. I mean, hopefully one day we might be able to, but based on things like going, we're gonna be here. You know, I don't like the rush, I don't like the traffic, I don't like, you know, I grew up in, you know, Utah. So I don't, my husband is from Los Angeles. I mean, that's how personal we're getting. You know? So, so I go, she wanted, they wanted her, they need to get a roof done. They don't have any air conditioning, so they want air conditioning as well. And they also wanted windows. You know? And I go, you know what, I completely understand, because I've met a lot of my customers in the same situation that you're in. A lot of my customers are. You know? So what I'm gonna do is do my best to make it as dreamy as possible as we make these improvements. She kinda chuckled a little bit, like, you know, but I was being sincere. If you're gonna be stuck in a home, man, you at least wanna have comfort in your house. You want it to be comfortable. Right? So I do that scenario with, we got a customer do the same thing. But she's like, you know what, I at least want it to be comfortable. At least I wanna have, when it's hot, have AC. You know, when it's cold, I mean, I have the, you know, have the furnace. You know, I mean, at least I want my house to look nice. These single pane windows, man, I mean, they're cool. You guys are be proud of what you have. I mean, you have, you know, they think about this. People are paying $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 on the mortgage. And to live in a place that they feel they're stuck and not comfortable, man, that's not a way to live. Right? So that's how I touch them about it. That's how deep I go with my customers. Is I touch them there. So I give examples of other customers, you know, kind of like in the lake, honestly, when I'm to relate to other people and all that. So I talk about that. So this is your dream house, but this will open, guess how long I've already been here, another 15, 20 minutes. 15 minutes on the front, I was 30 minutes in the back, 45 minutes, I was already 45 minutes to an hour, and I'm already here another 15, 20 minutes. Just right here. I'm not even talking about SaveCal, I'm not even talking about products, I'm not even talking about anything else, but getting to know my customer. Right? And obviously a lot of us take shortcuts. We take shortcuts, and we miss the little things that will help the client get the final yes, and we miss it, and then we try to convince them. And the last thing you wanna do is be in a convincing mode. Cause 9 out of 10 times you're not gonna get the deal. You know, you're not gonna get it, right? So, is this your dream home? Very important, and then with that, obviously, that's what I want you guys to audio record it, cause you just wanna go over this stuff to be able to understand more of your customer. You know, yes, my dream home, no. Also, what have you done? Let me ask you this, you look like a lot of places, like all of us, when they invest in a home, they've done a lot of improvements in their house. This question is, let me ask you this, I mean, you got some nice floors, how much you invest in your house over time? How much you invested? What have you done to your house? Find out, you know, I invested, one of my clients said she invested $100,000. So how much? How much have you invested in your home? If somebody invested $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, which homeowners do, it's important to them, right? It's important. Because what we install, what we provide is quality, high performance type of products. And guess what? They cost more than your typical traditional cheap product. So if you don't find out how much they invested and how much this matters to them, dream home or not home, when you get to price at the end, and they say, you know what, man, that's a little higher than I was expecting. I'm just looking for something low. And you don't know this information, how are you gonna overcome that later on? Why would somebody who invested so much money in their home not invest in something that has quality? Right? One thing I learned from my grandma was like, you know, there's some things that you can spend that are cheap, but there's things that you have to pay for. Right? When it comes to like taking a roof over your head, we give a 50-year warranty on a roof. And I'll talk about the cool roof system, it's an amazing system, which is a traditional just paper in your shingle. That does not prevent issues, it actually creates issues. One of them protects, one of them creates issues. So it's very important to find out how much they've invested. This client invested $100,000. I want to know that. I wanna know how much they have put into it. If this is, the other question is this your first home? There's no order to this, just so you know, obviously your customer depending, there's no order to this, but this is what you're gonna be asking. Very important to ask that question as well, right? Because if it's your first house, you live in Los Angeles, you live in Southern California, home, it's expensive to live in Southern California. So my client tells me it's my first house, I'm like, wow, congratulations. Like, whatever it is, high five, handshake, congratulate them. It's a big deal. A lot of people move out of state because it's too expensive. So if somebody tells you, man, my first home, how long was I? Oh, about 2 years ago, 3. Wow, congratulations. I have a lot of friends, I do have a lot of friends that live in Texas, Georgia family, because it's expensive, right? You wanna find that out. So let me ask you this, what did you have to go through to get your first house? You wanna find that out too, right? What did you have to go through? And guess what? They're gonna tell you, oh man, we used to live in an apartment, we live with my parents. You wanna find that out, right? Sweat, tears, right? Hard work. Let them tell you what that is. You know? Now, the other part, if it's not, like, oh no, I have multiple properties. Then you know your type of customer too. Maybe a little savvier, right? They might be in investing, they might be flipping homes, they have rental properties as well. You wanna know that too. You wanna know who you're talking to. You're talking to your first time home buyer, or you're talking to someone that knows a little bit more, might know a little bit more about, they've done other work in homes, they've experienced. When I have a client tell me that they have, no, I actually have 3 homes. You know, or I had 3 homes. This is my 3rd house, my 2nd house. I'm like, oh, okay, what happened? So these are rental properties you have now? Like, oh no, like actually no, well, I had one, I lost one. I talk about the pain. A lot of homeowners have been through the, back in 07, 08, went through the recession, lost their house, lost multiple properties. I talk about the pain. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. I have a lot of friends that lost their property, you know, and they talk about that. Guess what? When somebody loses that kind of asset, guess what's gonna happen when they reinvest again? They're gonna be more cautious, right? They're gonna educate themselves a little more. So, you know, last one. When I get these kind of customers, doesn't matter my customer, I love them both, because this customer here, I know I have to be extremely detailed, I know I have to earn their trust, I know I have to go through everything, so they feel certain of a decision, right? First time buyer, doesn't matter, same exact thing, just my terminology maybe, my wording is a little different, you know what I mean? It's a little different, but other than that, it's the same thing. So you wanna be able to know multiple properties. If they foreclose, lost a house, man, you don't wanna skip through that, you wanna know what happened back then. You know, and then I'll share a story, the way I do it is I'll share a story that, I have friends, I don't talk about that I was in the industry, I don't talk about that I was in mortgage before, I don't talk about that. I never talk about where I came from, or, I don't. If it works for you, it works for you. I never said I was a new person, even though it was my first day, you can probably do the it's not called pretty close, but, if I'm new here, take it easy on me, you can try that, I don't know, if it works great, But I don't want my client to believe that I'm new, right? I gotta play the part until, until otherwise, but, can't let them know that I'm new, because it's gonna, in some cases, walk all over you, So is this your first time home or multiple properties? Talk about the pain, you wanna talk about the pain. All these questions, even though you're getting additional information to help close the deal, this is helping just continue this connection at the end. A little bit different than probably what you might be used to, I don't know, maybe you've done this before. But a lot of times you want this information because it's gonna help you close too, but it's really you just continue to build connection with the client and getting to know your customer, right? So, I share a story, the way they can share about their pain is I share a story. I had a customer that, actually I talk about family. Had a family member who back in the, in 04, the loan officer was telling him, you know what, keep buying, keep pulling money out and buying homes, get a negative kind of loan. And, once it's time's up, refinance again, your value's always gonna be going up. So he was advised incorrectly, he was misled, he was not educated, so guess what, he lost everything. Trusting another person, trusting a professional, supposedly professional, lost everything. So I share a story similar to that, and they're like, yeah, well, me too. I had someone too who told me this, and yes, my fault, I should have done more research, and I lost my house. And they talk about how bad it was. And that's what we're talking about, their pain. Let me see, so how long you been here for? Is this your dream home? What's another thing, Sean? I'm missing something, I know I'm missing another question. Do you see it?
I'm not sure, you've got a million of them. If I went through my notes, I could do, probably 20 more.
Yeah, it's second week in the first week in the field, right? Basically, yeah. So it's no pressure, man. The next one is obviously after that is how did you hear about us, right? I mean, okay, all right. How did you hear about us? How did you hear about us? A lot of people are gonna say through Facebook. A lot of our ads are on Facebook. We used to have a lot of billboards everywhere, and some are still up for some reason. But my last customer said, "Yeah, I saw a billboard. I saw a billboard a year ago." And they took a snapshot, and a year later they called. We do also do mailers. So guess what? They saved their mailer. So they'll let you know. Now some customers are gonna tell you, "Oh, I have no idea. You guys called me." And they didn't call you, you called them. I just wanna mention that because it doesn't mean that it was a cold call. Doesn't mean we called from the white pages. What that means is sometimes when people go on Facebook, it can be a family member who inquired for them. That's happened a lot of times. It can be a friend that saw the ad, knows they want improvements, and they put the information in there. So that's how we contact them. They put all the because when we call them, when they go on Facebook, they have to put first, last, email, phone number. That's the only way we get the information. So it's not randomly, we get all that information. Somebody put that information in there. So what I let them know that, probably somebody, one of your friends, family members, somebody. We don't cold call anybody, we don't call you in the blue, unless you inquire, we don't contact you. And then they'll be like, yeah, I think I saw you on Facebook 6 months ago. Because some of these appointments, there was never contact. So they could have been a year ago, 6 months ago, a lot of them are fresh. but it could have been that at one point they were interested, we just never went out and made the appointment, and they never purchased anything. So the need was still there, it just never happened. But you wanna establish that, because if you don't get this question out of the way, later on, when you show price, well, let me think about it. Oh, well, what's the you're gonna say, what do I think about, right? You're gonna say, oh no, well, you guys contacted me, I wasn't even thinking about getting a roof, you guys called me. That's their way out. So if you don't get this out of the way now, they don't have that objection later on. But if you don't, guess what? That's gonna be the objection later on. So how did you hear about us? The next question I asked, like I said, I asked 3 questions with the question. The next one is gonna be, what do you guys think you're gonna ask? Once I tell you that, I don't know. What will you ask next? A question within the question. So how did you hear about us? What will you ask next?
What are they looking for?
Huh?
What are they looking for?
We're looking for? What's another? That basically that is within that question is similar, that stems from that question, from that answer. So I say it's on Facebook. You wanna find out which ad they saw. But what I say, well, let me ask you this, I get a little extreme sometimes, I'm like, what inspired you? What about the ad inspired you to call us? Cause remember, they see other stuff, right? They see other marketing out there. They're seeing advertisement out there. So what about our ad inspired you? Well, it didn't inspire me. I mean, that's what I wanna get. On purpose, I wanna get that from my client. Well, it didn't inspire me, but either way, I'm getting the answer. I wanna know why. I sell a zipper down, because we have zipper down ads. So think about this, somebody calls for a zipper down, what does that tell you? I don't have the money, right, cash, I want payments. So what inspired you about the ad? Yeah, I just saw the cool roof, I'm interested, I haven't heard about cool roofs. Let them tell you what about it, right? In some ways, it's not the true hot button, but they start telling you, what about us? What made you call us? She's like, yeah, so as we're down, I mean, I had a contractor come out, and I have to pay him cash, and I don't have the cash.
Why you call us?
Huh?
Why you call us?
Yeah.
Why you call us?
Yeah, like what about the ad, encourage you to call us? What about they encourage you, inspired you? You don't wanna sound salesy. Does that sound salesy to you? What about the ad inspired you? Do you think it sounds salesy?
No,
It doesn't. It does not. You can ask in a salesy way and you might not get the answer. Right? That's what happens. When you sound like a salesman, you might not get the answer. One of the questions that a lot of you they ask or they wanna ask is, well, what kept you from doing? Nothing wrong with that question. But sometimes the customer is a little savvy now. I don't wanna tell him what kept me. Cause if I tell him what kept me, he's gonna know how to sell me. Sure. Right? So why not 6 months ago? I've been shopping for 6 months. No, just that's kinda like, you don't want that. You wanna break those walls. That's the whole idea, is to be able to break these walls with these questions. So now you're not using them in a salesy way, you're using them to get to know them a little deeper. Because if you do, when it gets to the hard questions, right? Then you'll be comfortable, he'll be comfortable. A lot of times I'll say to my client, well, at the end, right? All due respect, let me ask you this. I know you love our company, you love the product, you love everything. What's holding you back from moving forward? But I established that connection. Right? And he's gonna tell me the answer. He's gonna tell me the true answer. He's gonna tell me, yeah, you know what, the price is a little high, maybe you can do with the price. So is the price the only stopping me from moving forward? How much do you think it was gonna be? And you know what I mean? It gets, but if you don't build that, he's never gonna give me the true reasons why he's not moving forward. You're not gonna get it. And that's what you want, right? You want it to be as smooth as possible through the process, and at the end, this genuine type of conversation doesn't become this, okay, business, now we're gonna get to the sale. Right? That's what you guys want. Where do we leave off? So the next question is, you wanna ask, that's what I meant by the question, within the question, that's just in my own head, is, what about the ad inspired you, right? What about inspired you? What about it, what encouraged you to call us? Out of all the ads, why us? And then they might tell you the same thing. They might say, you know what, actually, well, you were my fifth app. Right, you were the fifth person I saw, so I called all of you. It could be that too. And you wanna know that. I mean, do I care to know, I know that people are getting bids. I don't need to hear that. Cause in the beginning, when I used to hear people say, you know what, I do, one of the things that I used to hate in the beginning when I started, somebody with a notebook and a pen, greeting me at the door. Yeah, coming in. Yeah, so what's, ready to get a bid, right?
Yeah.
I used to hate that. You know, now I love it. I mean, I think it took me like 3 months. I'm like, oh, dude, once it clicked, everything clicked. Second month, I'm like, oh, you know, it's protection. It's a defense mechanism in so many ways. And in so many ways, you know what it is? I get it. I'm like, you know what? I get that. I'm the same way. If I go buy something, I shop, right? Do you guys shop? So don't be surprised that your customer is shopping. Because us salespeople, we hate it. When we see somebody else telling you, I'm just shopping around. Oh, dude, this is not quite good. Right? We actually put negative thoughts or negative information in mind. And yeah, she's not buying today. But she was probably gonna buy today. A lot of people sometimes, they do that as a defense mechanism. That can be it. Sometimes it can be a reason is because, you know what, I don't want them to know that I wanna buy today. If it's a good price, I like the person, I'm gonna do this. But I can't tell them that. You know? A lot of times you hear, you know what, yeah, I have a, what is that called? You guys can help me with this one, you guys already know this, 3-day. I have a three bid rule. I don't know, maybe do that, like a 3 quotes. I get 3 quotes. I gotta get 3 quotes. What that tells me, when they tell me that, it tells me that this person is probably impulsive. She's probably made a lot of bad decisions in the past. So now he's, you know what, I'm gonna get 3 quotes every single time I purchase something because I made a lot of bad decisions before, right? That's what it's telling me. So I'm like, you know what, this is my best customer. Cause he wants to buy, but he wants to be smarter about it now. And I'm gonna help him make an intelligent decision. That's what I'm gonna do, right? So, so where are we at? What time is it? 10:28, alright, cool. I wanna show you guys a video, just a moment. Any questions so far, just based on this? Just this alone, any questions? Any questions at all? No, you guys are good? You guys still here? Alright. Let me see, so this is the first video you're gonna show. Once you go through all these questions, think about this. What time is it right now?
10:30.
It's 10, yeah. See how long I'm training it, but I'm actually, this is what I do with my client. So I haven't even talked about SaveCal. All we did is just establish a connection. That's all we did. Right? That's all I done. Oh no. Let's see. Can I use your laptop real quick, Sean?
Absolutely.
Yeah? Well, I'll look it up real quick and then I'm gonna show the video. You have the video here? Well, we can pull it up either way.
SaveCal?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also this too.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, over in a second.
You know what? You guys wanna take a quick break?
Yeah.
No, you're good? Yeah, just take 2 minutes.
A break
Go
is
ahead.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was
Oh, you want, there's one downstairs, so you go straight,
I know,
There's a
yeah,
first
yeah,
door.
I'll get some coffee.
you go to there, there's a few
I drank a lot before this because I know that too, but I still have to have some. Yeah, me too. At least 2 cups.
It'll be HDMI.
Might be me, yeah, I don't really know.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just not a bail guy, but yeah, they look good. Very impressed. You have your laptop and everything, huh?
Yeah.
You taking notes on your laptop too?
I am.
Yeah.
Also work from home.
Good for you.
I didn't call off, so
Oh,
just logged in just in case.
awesome. I wrote actually I hand wrote a 3-page letter to my mom,
Oh.
but I ended up typing it because it's like so it'd be easier for her to read.
I was gonna say so she could read it.
Yeah, because my handwriting is just terrible.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is she in Washington?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is. Yeah. Pardon me, she just turned 90, so it's kind of hard for her, you know.
Oh, wow.
I can't talk to her on the phone because it's always like, hello. You know,
Yeah.
it's hard hearing this.
Does she stay by herself?
No, she's lives with my oldest sister.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, my other sister lives right next door, so.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of family around here.
Oh yeah, just her 2 sons are down here.
What part of Washington are you from?
Eastern Washington, a small town called Moses Lake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's like one of the top 10 redneck places in Washington, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, yeah. Have you been to Washington?
Just Seattle.
Oh, okay, yeah, Seattle's nice.
Yeah.
It's a little bit wet though.
Yeah, very wet. I like the rain though.
Do
It
you?
rains a lot in Houston, so.
Oh, you're from Houston?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Awesome, wow. I've never been to Houston, I've been to Dallas before.
Dallas, yeah. They're very similar.
Hmm,
Different culture, but.
yeah. I find people from Texas very friendly, actually.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
No.
Or people are just like, you're not from here, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I can. Yeah. Yeah. I guess when you live out here for a while, you get a little jagged or whatever. Depending on what industry you're in or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool. So how long you been out here?
6 months.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Love it though.
Yeah. What brought you out here?
Is it
I just work more. I wanna go back to Houston. Huh?
So one more position?
I think that's it.
This is everyone.
Okay, alright. Alright, so I'm gonna show you, this is the first video you're gonna be showing in your presentation after the questions, building the connection.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna show the SaveCal video, take notes, let me know, I'm gonna ask you guys what you got from it, what stood out to you, and, we'll go from there. So let's see.
Our goal is to save California. SaveCal. We provide a wide range of home improvement efficiencies that help with energy efficiency, like cool roofs, cool walls, HVACs, tankless water heaters, insulation in your attic, and solar panels as well. We cover the entire Southern California area. We've been in business since 1997. We started with one little small pickup truck out of the garage, and look at us now. We are servicing at least 90 or 120 projects on any given week. We're hands-on. We're not just behind a desk talking to our customers on the phone only. We're out there in the field. We're talking to them. We're meeting with them. We're solving all the problems. We believe in reduction before production, which entails reducing energy before producing energy. That's our mission. We're helping our homeowners so that we can move into a better green world. And we want to make sure this is the right fit for each and every homeowner. So it is customized to each and every home. We have an energy auditor that does a whole full assessment of the home before we deliver any product or service. I've been out to different clients and you can see it in their face. It's just a glow and it's life-changing for them. And because of that, you know, it gives us the inspiration to keep doing what we're doing. Hero has been an incredible partner for us. They go out there and make these things happen for the homeowners. Because if they can't afford it, why would we do it? So we're working with Hero and Hero's working with us. And that's an important part of this team. We can't do this without Hero. There's 3 ways we're going to leave this planet. The way we came into it, worse than we came into it, or in a better place. That's what SaveCal is all about. Leaving this planet in a better place than where we came.
Alright, so, just a moment. all this, right? Questions?
Yeah.
Alright, so what's one thing that you got from it?
Reduction before production.
Huh?
Reduction before production.
Production before production. When you heard that, what about it caught your attention, got your attention?
Comparability.
So what about it got your attention?
Like to save money before spending money.
Okay. So saving money before spending money.
Right.
Leave it at that, saving money. Okay. By yourself, what did you get from it?
Just the mission of being more energy efficient.
Energy efficiency, okay. You said the mission,
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
so going green. Okay. How about yourself?
Give to the people the choice to live better, first one. Second, educate to the people about the save from energy, you know?
When you say, you said live, the first one you said live better,
Yeah,
what do you mean by that?
because the people got to have a better home when we finish the project. A better home, because they, in some moment, they don't want to spend money because it's a lot of money. But when we explain all the benefits and they don't want to pay nothing from the pocket in this moment, the people got it there. I think so.
Okay. Alright, so the first thing you said is, living better? So what do you mean by that? Do you mean like, improving your house?
Yeah, because the home, when we finish, it's a different home.
Right.
It's a different home in all. Roofing, the solar panels, they got to look the difference
Yeah.
when we finish.
Okay. Alright, so you're talking about transformation, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Alright. How about yourself? What did you get from the video?
Mine was being passionate about going green. We already said it, energy efficient. But that really spoke to me as well. Saving the environment and leaving it better, if not the same. Definitely don't want to make it worse. Yeah.
Okay. So going with the mission, going green,
Yeah.
saving the environment. See what I got. What else?
I think the fact was mentioned that the company started out in 1997, I believe. So more than 20 years, and now they're like over 100 projects going per day or something like that.
Okay.
So yeah,
So when you say 1997, what does that communicate to the?
that there's a tremendous amount of experience, and the company's been around for a long time. It started out very small,
Yeah.
like you said, it was just one truck or something, I believe.
Yeah.
And now it's a pretty big company, so it shows that it's there's a passion for it to grow, and so
So when you hear about a company that's been around since '97 for 21 years,
yeah.
what does that tell you?
They're a
It's
reputable
trusted.
company.
Obviously, there's a reason it's been around for that long.
What else?
They're a reputable company.
Reputable.
Mm-hmm.
Reputable. I don't know. I totally forgot. I have to look it up. But there's a high percentage, and I will say 65% of contractors
Mm-hmm.
go out of business within 24 to 36 months
Wow.
in construction. they go out of business.
Hmm.
So to be around since '97, right, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
People want stability, right? People wanna feel like, man, I'm hiring someone, 21 years, man, it's a big deal to be in business, right? What's something else that you guys got from the video? Anything else comes up?
Just how simple the whole process is of installing whatever you need. I mean, whatever the guy was explaining in the video, it showed how comfortable and simple the whole process is. How they work with Hero as well, just in case finances don't work, in order to install it regardless. So it's just a lot of comfortability throughout the video.
So touch about financing
Mhm.
too, right? There was one thing that it was said on there, that every home is customized. We customize it. One of the things, that I think most people, homeowners don't know, is that it doesn't matter if the home, if you have 3 homes that are 200 square feet, doesn't mean the way it's installed is the same exact way. People assume that, but it's not. It has to be customized, right? It has to be customized, so everything is customized. Now, the other part, they talked about energy auditor. So we have, obviously, we'll do an inspection ourselves. I call it CSI, we call it inspection, I call it energy audits. But when they become a client, we assign a project manager as well to the project. So there's gonna be someone, so it's not the installers having direct contact with the customer. It's not them who have the communication. We have an actual project manager that looks just like us, same polo shirts, who is in charge of communications, communicating with the installer, communicating with the client, but all communications are with the actual project manager who's gonna oversee the project to make sure this customer is satisfied and is happy at the end. So that everything that you discuss with your customer at that table is gonna happen. Okay, most companies in general, any company, you get the salesperson that sells it really well, right? Promises the world. But in construction and home improvements, it's only a 30% satisfaction. 30%. Think about that. So most homeowners, when they're making an investment or making a decision to hire a contractor, there's a 70% chance they're gonna go through a very, very bad experience. 70%. So this is stuff that I'll touch on later on in my presentations. I'll be like, when they're at the end, talking about, do you wanna pay someone? Doesn't matter the number. And there's a 70% chance that something's gonna go wrong, that he's not gonna deliver, that he's not gonna complete, that he's gonna, you know, cause typically improvements, just so you guys know, by law, if they say they purchase you're doing the roof for $30,000, to start the project, they have to put 10%, the client, customers will put 10% down, or $1,000 down, whatever is less to start the project, to sign documents, to start the initial project. Now they have to pay, I think, 35% for materials after that. So the first initial sign up, you give me 10% down or $1,000, whatever's less. When they start the project, they're gonna give another 35% for materials, and then another 35% after that. So if that contractor, for some reason, this always happens, right? He gets the materials, he gets them, we give him up $5,000-$6,000, another $5,000-$6,000 in about 3-4 days. If he finishes or not, if the contractor's sick or not, if the contractor, my family issue, my kids, my car won't start, this is the kind of experiences they're getting. And they already came out of pocket $14,000, $15,000, $16,000, and the project's halfway done after a week, 2 weeks later. This is what they experience. Other experiences is they don't clean after they leave. There's nails, there's debris. I mean, this is the experience. They say they're gonna be there by 10 o'clock and then they're by 12, 1 o'clock. They don't show up. that day. They show up and the customer's calling upset. I took a day off from work and you're not here. You told me you're gonna be here at 8 o'clock and you get here until 11:30. This is typical. So what we do and the way we separate ourselves is a project manager assigned. When we say they're gonna be at this time, that's the time they're gonna be there. They're gonna clean up after every job. Every single time they're on a job, they're gonna clean up. So we have someone who oversees it. Typical contractor, you go to a box store, you go to a Home Depot, you go to Lowe's, you go to Sears, who's going out of business in the home improvement department, or I think already did go bankrupt, I'm not sure if they're on that process. What they do is when you hire these box stores, all they do is you hire Home Depot, and all they do is they have a list of contractors, whoever's available goes to their house. And there's no standardized procedure by the box store. It's not like you're gonna do it this way when you, right? And then the contractors are gonna hire their subs. And the subs are gonna hire their laborers. And now you have a bunch of laborers just on their job site, and guess what? The experience, the service, everything that's why there's only a 30% satisfaction home improvements. This is what they get. If they go to Home Depot page, they have like a 1 star. And improvements, extremely bad reviews. Right, I know you came out of your head like, yep, right, you've heard this before, right? I'm sure like in Solar City.
Yep, absolutely.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
It's
Horror stories.
horror stories. This is what they experience. With SaveCal, the way we work, and that's the reason why we send a project manager, is that yes, they're employed by SaveCal, and yes, they have a license, and yes, they can do outside work, right? But we do have a standardized procedure. They have to do it the SaveCal way. Just like you do it the SaveCal way, our contractors, our subs, they all do it the SaveCal way. Installation is the same exact way. HVAC installation is the same way for everybody. That's the difference. We take the responsibility. Now, for example, if you hire Home Depot and the homeowner has a problem and says, my HVAC is not working, who will you call first if you hire Home Depot? Home Depot. And they're gonna say, because of their contract, there's a disclaimer that says, contact the contractor. So they're gonna tell you to the contractor. Hopefully the contractor picks up the phone. And if he does, he's gonna refer you to the subcontractor, because that's who did the job. To the sub. That's the experience. That's what they go through. And then they're gonna say, contact the manufacturer. And this is the game that's being played in this business. With SaveCal, all they have to do is call 818-600-008. Within 24 hours, we'll have somebody go back out there. There's no fees, we don't charge them a visit, and we take care of it. So when people pay for 3 things. They're paying for quality, they're paying for warranties, right? And they're paying for stability, and they're paying for financing, right? I mean, that's what people are paying for. So where somebody's charging a little more than someone else is because they're paying for the reputation, right? They don't wanna go through the bad experience. They don't wanna go through those headaches. Cheap will cost you money. Cheap is expensive. Cheap, extremely expensive. Now, at one point, at one point, SaveCal, we used to say, yeah, that's a competition. That is not a competition. You don't have a competition. It's funny, I had a customer too, and he goes, oh yeah, your competition you just left an hour ago. I'm like, well, what competition? Because you don't have one. That's what I told him. Straight up, we don't have one. You'll know why once I talk to you. Oh, why are they confident? I like that, right? You're confident. I'm like, no, seriously, we're not, like, you don't know why. So when I went through everything, right, I just gotta say, oh, this last Friday, right, Sean? Right, I gotta say, I'm on line, right, okay, keep sure. Gotta say that's Friday. They were being charged $20,000 less than what we were charging. They went with me. Paid $20,000 more. Not because we were overcharging them. Obviously, it's higher quality product. All this is involved. It's customized, warranties. You know, our warranties. I did an HVAC. We have a 99-year warranty on the compressor and heat exchange of the furnace and the condenser. 99-year warranty. Now, let me ask you this. What manufacturer in their mind, right mind, will give a lifetime warranty? Unless you believe, unless it's quality, you believe it's gonna hold. That's what's being put up. You know, we also give a 10-year craftsmanship, like any issues, anything will come back, no cost, no charge to them. We take care of it. 10 years. 10 years. Most is like 1 year. 5-year tops if you pay the extended warranty. You know, and it comes with the, you know, right? A lot of homeowners have insurance, like they have the, I don't know what it's called, they have the private insurance on top of their homeowners insurance for any issues. Guess how that works? I'm sharing this now because it's gonna come up in your customer. Well, I'm gonna cut my insurance. Well, I had a customer, the same thing happened where we're doing the roof, had a leak under HVAC, had a leak. They called their insurance company, they came out, and the guy who came out, all he did was just tell them what the problem was, charge them $125 for it, and tell them it's gonna cost you this much, call your insurance, and they might cover 20%. So they've been paying this insurance all this time. So they can be told, so guess what? I sold a roof and an HVAC. Cancel your insurance. I mean, you don't have to, unless either way you're gonna pay. You know, it's different if it was a $100 deductible and it's covered, that's a big difference, right? That's a whole different story. But they're still paying for it. They're paying for somebody to come out and look at it. For us, 10 years. We go to your home, any issues, then my Nest, I don't know, a lot of times they'll call us and the Nest is working, but